Freedom, democracy, and the flower of the democracy we face are the election. However, in any election, if mismanagement, procedural confusion, controversies over vote, counting, or poor operation of polling stations occur, voters will feel deep disappointment. What matters is not the victory or defeat of a specific party or candidate, but whether the public can trust the election results. Problems with the election system from the voter's perspective. 1. Elections must not only be fair, but also appear fair. It is not enough for election management agencies to merely operate fairly in practice. Shortage of ballot papers, congestion at polling stations, insufficient management personnel, inadequate guidance, distrust regarding the vote counting process. When these problems occur, voters begin to doubt the procedure itself before the results. Democracy is a system built upon trust. If trust collapses, it becomes difficult for election results to be respected. Voters are the owners, yet in reality, they often have to endure inconvenience. On election day, the people go to the polling stations as sovereigns. However, exercising one's right to vote becomes inconvenient when long waiting times, complex procedures, insufficient guidance at the site, and a lack of consideration for the disabled and the elderly occur. It is not the people who serve the state, but the state that must guarantee the people's right to vote to the fullest extent. 3. Strengthening the accountability of election management agencies. When problems arise during an election, they should not end with a mere apology. What is needed is to conduct a thorough investigation into the causes, clearly identify those responsible, establish robust measures to prevent recurrence, and create a transparent reporting system. In a democratic country, authority must be accompanied by responsibility. Future plans for improving election operations include 1. Digitalizing polling station operations. 2. Transparently verifying real-time voter turnout. 3. Strictly managing ballot inventory to automatically tally the number of people waiting. 4. Establishing an emergency supply system. These measures can help reduce confusion. 2. Mandatory pre-election mock training. Just as there are drills prepared for major disasters nationwide, mock training is necessary to ensure safety by preventing issues such as ballot shortages, power outages, concerns about computer system failures, and crowd concentration in advance. 3. Complete disclosure of the vote counting process. To build voter trust, we can consider faithfully disclosing the vote counting process, ensuring a doubt-free process through expanded observer access, strengthening record preservation to allow anyone to view records, and actively promoting the expansion of video disclosure. Trust comes from transparency, not concealment. 4. Election systems suitable for an aging society. South Korea is aging rapidly. Therefore, it is necessary to expand support for mobile voting, transportation assistance, and for the elderly, the placement of large print notices, and easy-to-understand explanatory materials. Voices of voters. Voters have the right to speak as follows. An election is not an event for politicians, but an event for the people. More important than the value of a single vote is the process by which that vote is respected. To accept the results, one must first be able to trust the procedures. Democracy does not end at the ballot box, but begins with fair administration. A hopeful conclusion. Democracy is not a perfect system. However, it exerts its strongest power when public trust in elections is maintained. If problems arise during the election process, we should not view them merely as a matter of victory or defeat for a specific candidate, but rather consider how to create a more fair and transparent system in the future. A citizen's vote is not merely a piece of paper, but an expression of sovereignty. The goal of the electoral system should not be simply to elect a winner, but to ensure that all citizens feel, my vote has been respected. The protection of suffrage rights in particular stands out.